Hello. Here we are, Green Home Marin. Welcome.
Wait a minute.
Welcome, everybody.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
You good?
Yeah, I guess.
Hi, Miss Connie. Hi, Miss Connie.
Good morning.
Nice to see you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Green Home Marin. We're excited to have you. We're excited to be here again. This is very exciting. I think this is our, what is this, our fourth show? I think this is our fourth show.
Yeah, maybe it is.
That's so exciting. So as we wait for a couple of guests, we're excited today because we have an amazing friend, Marcia Chung Galanco, and she's a Feng Shui master, and she'll be on in just a few minutes. And so this is very exciting. We're going to be doing Feng Shui for your home. And, you know, I don't know about you, but it's been a huge piece of my work in the past. And I think this is what the show is going to be about today. And I'm excited because last week we had tapping. So, Connie, what do you think? You know, like what happened for you last week? I'm excited about tapping.
Oh, gosh. Well, you know, life with all its challenges, you know, I can use tapping every day, all day long. And that you know, connection with using essential oils, I've learned how to treat myself and my moods and my, you know, physical discomforts. And my gosh, there's a wealth of information that we are presenting to you out here, and you know, we can expand on it, you know, and get your questions about it. But yeah, we have a lot to offer here.
Yeah, I'm so excited because, you know, for me, I had a stomach ache this week, and I used literally 1 drop of peppermint, and then I used some Digitize on my stomach, and then I used some Thieves on my spine, and within an hour, everything was gone. And I was just like, boy, I haven't used the oils like this. And so if anybody wants to get support with oils, Connie and I are learning, and the experts will be coming on here and there because I've added it to my toolbox. I think it's really important right now. I think it's really critical for us to be able to use an extra boost right now, especially with COVID, especially with what we're going on, you know, what's going on globally. And you can go to ecoinspiredoils.com and support, you know, looking at different ideas, and that might support you to be able to create, you know, an idea. But Penny last week was just amazing. I think she has a great gift. Let me just put, go ahead, Connie, for a minute while I get her other banner up. I'll just put that banner up for us.
Yeah, it was Penny Norkett was our speaker last week on tapping. And I also have been using the oils in my diffuser that is a wonderful, you know, tool to have in your home. You can just put the oil, you know, put some water in the container and then put a couple of drops of different oils. You can mix the oils. It's just great to explore what changes our reality in a natural, organic way. You know? Without chemicals.
Totally. I'm really excited about them. I used them for years, like you, and we both used them. But recently with COVID, I turned Connie into it, you know, using them because I was like, Connie, through this time, you know, Thieves oil is for the immunity. And I just feel like Thieves has saved so much of me, and their product line has been really supportive. So Penny really, you know, brought us forward, and we have a friend, Jamie, that's tremendously knowledgeable about it. But the tapping with oils was so cool because I didn't think about it. It was brand new for me. You know, it was like, oh, this is interesting. And Jamie's been talking about this with me a lot about doing cooking shows with oils. And I'm like, well, I've never done that, you know, so I'm going to explore it. So we'll see what happens here. But Yeah. And what about you? Like, I know you're the master of energy work, and yeah, share a little bit about your energy work and what you might think of with oils with that. I mean, I think it would be amazing.
Yeah, well, I do IET, which is an integrated therapy, energy therapy, and it's very similar in concept to tapping.
Mhm.
You touch certain areas of the body, and you bring in the guided energies from outside of us to help with the healing of those certain areas of the body. And I would imagine that using essential oils will just accelerate the healing as I'm, working on different areas of the body specific to energy healing and the chakra healing. So I'm very, I'm excited to explore what happens with that. I also have had personal experience, probably around 18 years ago with having essential oil treatment in my body, on my body, during a massage, and specifically the Young Living essential oil treatment. And it facilitated a huge health reversal for me. And so, yeah, I can attest to the essential oils being very powerful. The flower essences, are what this earth is providing for us. And the bees know it, the insects know what we don't know. They have the information and they survive on it, and it behooves us as human beings in these bigger bodies than insects have, that we learn, what many of the indigenous cultures already have learned, thousands of years ago, that the planet Earth provides nourishment, healing, and remedies for us as
Yeah.
humans. Yeah.
I want to kind of go back to our first show. Our first show was solar sprinklers, and I got into the solar sprinklers through my son, and he's an engineer. And we just want to remind you to go solar at this time. Green Home Marin, Connie and I can both support you to go solar. We're really about getting people into eco-inspired living and really living so that we don't return to COVID again, like really starting to look at a serious change for all of us. And so Actions of Impact came, and I'll give you the website. actionsofimpact.com/green home is where you can find the sprinklers. And we still have a sprinkler head that you can get for free by signing up and getting one of the solar sprinklers. And Sean may stop in, or still waiting for Sean to visit us. He's the owner of that. But Adam is the engineer of the solar sprinklers. And so you can find the solar sprinklers on our page. And Connie, tell us what I mean, she's so funny with me. Connie's been talking like, I want one of these. Like, why do you want one? I don't know why you want one, but go for it. Tell us.
The solar sprinkler system is, the best because it only waters areas that need to be watered. It's energy efficient. It doesn't waste water. And I've had a sprinkler system in my yard that's limping along for years. In fact, I had to turn it off. I water by hand now, which is in and of itself, it's okay. However, I would love the opportunity to have a functioning sprinkler system that waters efficiently and that is primed by the sun's energy. That's where it comes from. The solar sprinkler idea is amazing. So
Yeah.
our resources here,
What'd you say?
using our resources on this planet,
Exactly. Exactly.
and yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking a lot about them this week. I was thinking like, when we start looking at saving water, and then you just brought it up on Connie and I do a lot of walks. We take a walk, pretty often. And, we've been thinking about like how to really engage this show with all of you and what your needs are, please mention it in the comments if you have needs or you want to be on the show. There's a wonderful magazine that Connie mentioned a couple on our first show called Marin Magazine. And, she brought up a book and we didn't really mention it, but it was a zero waste home book by B. Johnson. So here's our book. We want to maybe host a book a week. That might be good, Connie, to just recommend a book a week that you guys can start learning and seeing. We want to support local Marin people, but we really are local to global because a lot of people watch our show, worldwide. And I think when you start looking at our local region, Connie and I both know that the water is an issue here. And we had really bad fires last year. And
the year before that.
Yeah. Talk about it, Connie, what you remember.
It's become part of climate change. It's become part of our reality. And, we move from one season to the next. And, we enjoy the aspects of winter, fall, winter, and spring. And then when spring ends, we're in fire season here. And so water efficiency is key in this area of the country, like many areas of the country. And, we want to be prudent and, not waste our money, our precious resources that, we work for and we save for. And, so water is a big deal here. Thanks.
Yeah, for sure. I want to bring up 2020 or Bust, and they were with us, and our guest today was on Earth Day. So our guest coming up was on our Earth Day show, and she and I had an amazing time, and a lot of magic happened those 48 hours. We did Earth Day for 48 hours, and that's where the actions of impact came from. And so 2020orbust.org is a place that you can download an app and remind you how to take care of the earth. And I thought they were going to pop on. So we'll see if they do, but we're going to let our guests come in. I think for me, 2020 or Bust is so fun. Lachlan and the team made Earth Day magic for all of us, and a lot of fun, a lot of guests, a lot of people. But their biggest mission that came out of Earth Day was their goal to plant 1 million trees by May 31st. So you can go on their page, and really for $2, $1 goes towards 2020 or Bust and their work, and $1 for the tree. So for $2, you can plant a tree. And yay, Joyce is here. Okay, awesome. I'm going to bring her onto the show with us, Connie, because she just appeared. Cool. Here's Joyce. Yay, from 2020 or Bust.
We did have a lot of fun in those 48 hours, and a lot happened. I was watching. Didn't realize I needed to be here.
Okay, good. You're here. I'm so glad. This is Connie. Connie, this is Joy. Yeah. Connie, move your screen over just a little bit. Whoops. Uh-oh, she just stepped out.
Like that?
Yeah, there you go. Joyce will be back on in a minute. But, their goal to plant 1 million trees by May 31st is a huge goal. And it's exciting because that's how climate change can also change, by planting trees and really start developing. Here's Joyce again. So hang on there, Marcia. We're going to bring you in a minute. And yay, there you are.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
I'm going to let you have the screen, but share about 2020 or Bust and the mission. And I'm going to have you have the screen, Joyce. And I know Lachlan I've been watching him, and he's so fun and he's so funny. He's riding his, skateboard and pushing this whole mission. And I just, 2020 or Bust, I'm part of. I'm not in the quite inner circle because I have a lot going on, but
there you are. Yes,
yeah, there we go. And it was my son that brought me in, and it's just been a great team to be part of. And yeah, go ahead, Joyce. And Connie and I will let you have the main screen here for a minute.
Well, when you were talking about the book, Lachlan has a book. It's on Kindle. I'll have to share with you about that. It's just a really short book. And thank you all for being here today, all over the world. Right now, 2020 or Bust, which is about empowering individuals to take action. We have myths that we live under. I do. You do. You know, it'll all turn out. It's too big, it's too complex. And then we just wait for our extinction, really. And the only thing that'll make a difference is you and I taking action. And we're out to empower and mobilize 500 million individuals. So we need you. You're needed, you're wanted, and whatever actions. We're not just, here's what you need to do. We have the answer. We don't. You literally are the answer. And when you look and take the actions that you take, we have an app, 2020 or Bust. You can go to your app store and get it. You can go to our website, 2020orbust.org, and it gives you suggested actions. And then when you take the action, it actually tells you how much you offset your carbon emissions. Right now, every morning at 9 here in California, New York, it's noon, we do a stream and a Facebook tree show celebrating whatever that day's holiday may be. Today happens to be Turtle Day. And the climate crisis is impacting the turtles. The temperature determines if the turtle, when it's born, this is so interesting, is a male or a female. And if it's warm, it becomes a female. So right now, the males are all but extinct because all the turtles are born female. So that's today's. And it's Memorial Weekend. And my husband passed away, and he's buried at Arlington with full honors. So on Memorial Day, I am going to plant trees in his honor. And you can do that. You can go to 2020orbust.org and then go to the trees and plant trees. Friend of mine was talking this morning that her mother just turned 99. And she planted 100, but told her mother 99 trees to celebrate her mother's birthday. And her mother was so honored. All the birthday gifts, that was the best. So I do invite you to plant trees, go solar. I loved it when you were talking about the sprinkle system. I need to look at that. I probably need to call your son, Adam, about that. I didn't know that. I knew about the solar panels, but I didn't know about the sprinkler system.
I'm going to hop on and say, yes, Adam engineered that. He did a lot of the engineering of the solar system, the solar sprinklers. And Sean's going to come on one of the weekends. Connie and I hosted it the first weekend. So you can talk to Connie and I if you want one. So I'm really excited about it. Connie wants one too. She has a yard and she totally wants to have one. And Joyce, I totally had tears in my eyes about the turtles. Like I have tears. Like that's huge.
Yes, isn't that? Yeah, that was what he shared on the pre-show today.
Wow. Wow. That's so painful to my heart.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's awesome that he's on every day at 9. And I think, you know, that's a huge impact, action of impact. So we are also talking about the same thing with Green Home Marin, because I feel like this is the time to take action. And, you know, Earth Day catapulted it for all of us. We were like, let's go. And, you know, Joyce and Jeremy and Diane and Lachlan.
And you.
It was so much fun. We had so much fun. And we were just like, kept it going. And it felt like we got to keep this going. We were clear. Were clear, like this can't stop. This Earth Day with COVID and what's happening on the planet, there's no better time for us to stop. You know, I have to get my cup. I'm going to let you talk to Connie for a second. My dog's barking, but I'll be right back.
I heard your dog. That's good. Hi, Connie. You're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So are you. So continue. Tell us more. if you have more.
Okay. Yeah, it really is about us reducing our own carbon emissions. It's about our reducing our BS.
Yeah.
We tell ourselves that there's nothing we can do. It's up to the government. Well, the government makes rules. They don't take actions. We take actions.
Interesting.
Our actions, and what the scientists figured out, that if 1 out of 14 of the human beings on the planet today took new actions each day, that would be 500 million people, and that will put us back on track to then end the climate crises. Right now, we're on track to our extinction. And I just read an article last week that 2025 is too late after that date. It's literally too late. There'll be nothing, there's no turning it around. So it makes it all the more urgent. We said 2020 or bust, which there's not 500 million of us taking actions consistently to have the emissions lowered rather than adding to them, then this experiment called human being will be ended.
Joyce, what are some of the other actions? I know planting trees is vital.
Eating, if you don't eat meat for one day. On the app, you cannot eat meat. It's really the app, the 2020 or bust, the Apple Store. In fact, Apple on Earth Day, not this last year, but the year before, displayed or presented our app.
We have some feedback going on somewhere.
Yeah, I could hear it. I think it happened when Lynn came back on.
Yeah, I just feel like, the whole dietary, I mean, I've been working on it for 30 plus years with natural food cooking and helping people with, environment. And I had a sustainable store back east. And, on Earth Day, when Jeffrey Smith came in and talked about GMOs and RNA, DNA changes, how we're changing the plant kingdom. It's pretty shocking to me on how we're moving this. And I'm going to bring Marsha into the fold because she's coming up, and I just want to bring her in with the four of us. Marsha's here. Hey, thank you, Marsha. Thank you so much. I want to bring you in because I know you have a lot of value and a lot of wisdom here, Marsha, too. And, Joyce, it's just like, I get that my action, I mean, I was at a hotel last week because I had to go write. I just kind of left my family. In order to finish my degree, I just had to go and write, and I had a water bottle and I drank it on the show and it was plastic. And I was like, what am I doing? That's that simple action that I could have brought a cup. So literally I went and bought a cup the next day, and I just felt so bad, it's that simple action that I have to remember.
Yeah, and we want to not feel bad. That doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
But we do. We feel bad. So that actually, I wonder if that background noise.
How does the app help with little actions like that?
Yeah. The thing about taking actions, that interrupts our conversation with ourselves. I started using stop taking straws, and I thought, because one of the actions is, use reusable and don't use plastic. And I'm like, oh, come on, it's one straw. But that was 3 years ago. Do you know how many straws that is today? So you get your own impact over time, and the app measures your impact. Every time you take an action, if you share and someone says yes and begins to participate, they're one of the 500 million. That's critical. And you have a way the app shows your individual lowering of your emissions from the actions you take each day, as well as aggregately. So it empowers us to see the difference that we make. rather than every time we don't, like the plastic cup, I get it. There's that immediate guilt.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
mean, I was thirsty and I didn't bring enough water with me. I did have a different water jug in my car, but it ran out. And then it was like, okay, I have to buy water. But the hotel gave me these bottled waters. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll just have a bottled water. Well, what I did do is the next day what are those? What are the cups made of that are so horrible for the earth? Styrofoam. I went literally to the restaurant the next day because I was out of town, and they were serving in styrofoam. And I asked the manager to come forward. And I said, could you please ask your facility to not use styrofoam? It's really toxic to the earth. So that's the little action I took that same day.
it's a big action.
Yeah, I think it's important. It's a really important thing. When you go someplace and there's styrofoam, I worked on that, 10 years ago in the People's Park. They were serving all the homeless in styrofoam. And it was like, I took action, and we got the local farmer to give us $1 a day for different support systems so that they would stop using styrofoam. So styrofoam is so toxic to the earth. But Joyce, we thank you for coming onto the show. Yeah, I want to ask Marsha if she wants to say anything to Joyce. Marsha, we give you thank you for being patient with us. And, it's so cool that you're here. You can go on actionsofimpact.com/green home. And Joyce, let's build the page out for you guys to be on there. I'll talk to you and Jeremy. And then the Green Home, we can get you guys on for a full show too. That would be great. Yeah. So tell Lachlan that would be fun. All right. Yeah. Any questions, Marsha, for Joyce before she goes?
Well, Joyce, so great to meet you again.
You too. Yes.
I love your wisdom. And what's so inspirational is you say actions, small actions, or adds up, become big action. And every day, if we take action, and it's actually our lifestyle, and then we impact others, whether they knowingly or not knowingly, they will be impacted by us. And we influence people to see what is important, that our action in doing good and avoid doing harm is so important for our existence, present and future, and for our future generation. It's not just now. It's
so true. Yes.
Thank
you for saying that.
Love your energy. Love your good energy. Thank you.
Thanks, Joyce, so much. And let's get you on to the show soon. Let's get the team back on here.
And I'll go back to viewing.
Yeah, tell them next week. We don't have a viewer next week. Actually, Connie and I are going to be on next week, so the following week. I think Connie and I have decided to do a show together because Connie has amazing work in design, and my work in environment and home. That's kind of why we started Green Home Marin, because we really felt like at least we can start with our local area and really engage people to go every action that we can. And the Torch mission is all about that, local to, work on a team locally of 4 people of peace, health, environment, and technology. And those 4 people impact connectedness. So that's an important piece for me. It's just so exciting that we're engaging. We're taking action, ladies. All right.
So I'll be watching you.
All right.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you, Joyce.
All right. So here's our guest, our beautiful guest. We have Marsha here.
Hi,
Marsha. Introduce yourself. Connie, introduce yourself to Marsha before we leave and let her have the stage here. But, just give your witness to what you started Green Home with me and how we got started. And, just say hi to Marsha for a minute, and then we'll let you introduce yourself, Marsha. But I'm just so grateful because she was on Earth Day with me. So I know Marsha already, but you two don't know each other. So it's nice to get to know each other a little bit. But
well, thanks, Lynn. Well, hi, Marcia. I'm an interior designer by trade and a color consultant. And I have background in Feng Shui certification. And I'm an artist, painter, artist, and an energy worker, a healing energy worker. So Lynn and I come together probably through heart connection. We are, of like-minded, heart people. And Lynn was, relating to me about her son's projects, and we were, sharing what we individually do, and we thought a collaborative would be really good to, start inviting people to share what they do and how they impact in a positive way the environment, whether it's the environment as a whole or our own space, our own environmental space in our homes, outside of our homes. And I did talk a little bit about Vastu, which of course I'm sure you understand. I'm not a specialist in Vastu, but I do understand a lot of the theory and practice. And Vastu is an ancient Indian discipline, much like Feng Shui. It's about spatial relationships and the energy of Qi flowing in a positive direction for our well-being, in our spaces. So that's my simplistic, rendition. But the idea that our home environments are our sacred space, if we have a chaotic home environment, then it translates into our emotional well-being, and our relationships with other people, how we interact in life. And so it's vital that we pay attention to that. And that's for you to share, some of those great tools with us.
Yay. Awesome.
Yay.
Nice. Nice.
You.
Yay. All right. We're going to let you introduce yourself. We're going to come off the stage. We're going to give you the full present, and we'll come back in around 10 of, so about 20 minutes you've got for sharing. Is that good? And if you need a little longer, let me know.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. How long do you need?
I think 10, 15 minutes is good. But if you want me to say more, we can have some interaction.
Dialogue? Okay, good.
Yeah.
We'll come back in after 15 then. Okay, sounds good. All right. All right. Awesome. And we appreciate you so much coming on the show. It's just for me to have women entrepreneurs, like having 4 women today is just it's very exciting for me. And I get so excited. Each time we do this, Connie, we're like, oh, okay, we got the show. What are we going to talk about? And it's like each week, it just keeps bubbling up for me in my spirit. This is really exciting. So I'm so grateful that you're here again. And Connie, any last words before we hop off?
No, I'm excited to hear Marcia.
Yay, let's go. All right.
Yay.
All right, there you go. Let's go.
See you later. Hi, everyone. All my friends from the United States and all over the world. I'm Marcia Chang Galanco, and I am a small business consultant in environmental feng shui and sustainable green designs. I am a very proactive community leader in many organizations. I co-found Sustainable Walnut Creek, Sustainable Contra Costa. I also participate in many community organizations that's bringing impacts to individuals and to different aspects of life. I'm an author of 3 books, The Power of Feng Shui, trilogy. My first book in The Power of Feng Shui for Builders, and that so that was sourced actually from my late father, Mr. Chang. People call him Master Chang because he was an expert in Feng Shui, and he and his brothers brought the Feng Shui aspect in development in Hong Kong, and that's where I'm originally from. And he is well known in his work because his whole intention is bringing the work of Feng Shui integrated in the modern way of living. And he not only pay attention to the physical structure to have it be safe and well built, but he also bring other aspects into the home to make sure that the homeowners who live in his projects and developments will be maximizing their potentials. And he is being acknowledged as a builder of life, because that's the whole intention, to maximize the potential of our life, living in a very favorable environment, the building, the whole exterior and the interior. And I learned a lot from my late father when I was a little girl, still in Hong Kong. And what I learned is, yes, Feng Shui is an ancient wisdom of living our life in harmony with nature. Thousands of years ago, it's best to be able to choose a site that's favorable and to avoid unfavorable sites. So, for example, favorable is on the hills with support at the back. And unfavorable is, for example, living in a flood, in a valley that's constantly flooded. So that's very conscious of natural disasters. And then taking in the sun, the wind, the water, all the natural elements. And just to clarify, Feng Shui in Chinese is wind, water. So what's so big deal about Feng Shui, wind, water? First, I will bring in, they are the essentials. They are the most important elements in our life, which is we need the air to survive. And without air, we pretty much die in minutes. But then too much wind or air will become hurricanes or typhoons. And you can see already from the natural aspect of air and wind, there's a balanced part of it. It's just like in water. We cannot live without water. Water is such an essential. We will die in days. We will not survive without water. Human beings, animals, plants, we all live. We have to have water. And then if there's too much water, we have flood, we have all kinds of disasters. That is very destructive. So Feng Shui is really about balance, about how we are aware of our environment, physical environment, and also all the elements that's in it, including plants and including animals, all living matters that we would be part of the ecosystem. But as we all know, Feng Shui is an ancient wisdom, but it's very, it's such a guideline that we can apply it in modern day life. I do a lot of work for builders, new home builders. And as we know, Feng Shui is both sides. It has the metaphysical aspect of it, very holistic, very spiritual, but sometimes quite superstitious. And there's many systems in it that might confuse people. And it takes a lifetime to learn, just like I learned from some of the traditional Feng Shui masters who are mostly gentlemen, and they are scholars. And Feng Shui could be used for fortune telling. And every year there's always the Feng Shui books. But on the other hand, it can be very metaphysical. Practical, that can be used in the site design, land acquisition. It can be very useful in landscape development. We were talking about earlier about trees. Yes, definitely, trees are very useful Feng Shui part of the whole environment, because trees, as we know from the scientific point of view, it really take in all the toxins and the carbon dioxide, and then using the sunlight for photosynthesis and produce oxygen. So it's good to plant trees, but even planting trees, it's good to have evergreen trees instead of trees that shed leaf in the winter, because I think there's some of the symbolic aspect of it, that trees that shed leaf shows only branches, symbolize aging or symbolize death. So there's the and fruit trees are very practical too. So instead of just planting any trees, fruit trees, you will produce fruits for us, and oranges, apple, persimmon, even lemon. Lemon is kind of sour, but it's very useful to use for detox, cleansing our body. And I myself, I drink lemon water every morning and every evening to cleanse our body and to have our system, whether it's internal, our body system, or external, our Feng Shui of the our home or where we live, and the external environment to have the qi. You know, we talk about qi, which is the life force. Qi is breath. You might heard of qigong or tai chi. Those are a very holistic way of practice. People, even I myself, I practice tai chi. No, actually, more qigong daily. So the whole idea is to circulate the qi in our body and to move some of the toxins away from our system. So Feng Shui for the home. So Feng Shui for the home is like pretty much use similar principles. We want to, there's 5 important principles or essence of Feng Shui in our home. So first of all, our home must locate and situate in a safe and secure place. And then a clean environment. As we know, we are in the middle of this pandemic. And Feng Shui being a very ancient wisdom, has people have gone through different eras of pandemic. And ancient people already know that there's organism, microorganism organisms in our environment. Some could be beneficial and some are not. And it could really greatly affect our health. So having a clean environment is important. It's whether in our air we breathe in our water we drink, and in the food we eat. I myself, I'm guilty of that a long time ago. Before I'm fully aware of what's going on, I used to hire somebody who sprayed pesticide to get rid of the weeds in my own yard. Thinking back, I think it was just very ignorant of me that I didn't take chemicals into consideration that is really very harmful to our body and our health. So get back to the important aspect of what's considered as a favorable feng shui home. After cleanliness is unclutter. Unclutter is to get rid of obstacles in our environment, or like in the yard, it can be dead leaf, and dead leaves, branches, and now we can use it for compost. In ancient times, is used as a fuel for different uses. So, but inside the house, as a consumer society, we tend to really over-consume. We buy a different color of the same clothes, and we buy shoes, we buy cookware, we buy furnitures, and we discard them in a few years. You know, I remember somebody told me, oh, they change cars every 3 years because they don't like the old car. So then they become garbage and, fill up our land and even contaminate the soil. So uncluttering or not consume so much is really a basic way of living a healthy life. But of course, as human beings, we tend to do that, and as you know, it's not favorable. And then feng shui also have things organized. We sort them out and put them in different groups, and not have it be in a chaotic situation, because when things are not organized, it tends to create the chaos qi, the disruptive qi, and they are not flowing properly. So proper placement of objects, which is the ultimate feng shui as a favorable practice, is to place things in a properly. So, for example, I put this beautiful painting on the wall that I'm sharing with you. It's auspicious. It's beautiful. I got it sometime many years ago, and it always empower me, and lead me into a very positive place. So proper placement, I place it against the wall, and now I'm talking to you, to all of you, and sharing this. It's a very simple way. And so for a green, so let's get into how the green, sustainable green aspect of it is being integrated with my work with environmental green feng shui. So it's actually very parallel. When I was, I came here for college at Santa Clara University, and and settled in this adopted country of mine, and gave me the freedom of practicing my creativity, and also freedom to explore. I took ecology, environmental science. I have a bachelor degree in biology. I have a master degree in home economics, and then I complete a PhD program. Not getting the degree, but I finished the whole curriculum, and that's in environmental science. And it's the I would say there's such a parallel with Feng Shui. Feng Shui, you can say, is a sustainable green study, way of living, and then environmental science. And when I was in college, I'm already very active. At that time, is conserving the environment, and then engage in the work of Feng Shui, and that's how I develop my consulting work, as there's a need to find out exactly what is Feng Shui. So two of them is so parallel. And for example, the lighting is considered as very positive, and sustainable green Feng Shui home really appeal to our five senses. What we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, and the whole feel of it, that comes to our heart. And then it also clarify calming of the heart, and then clarifying, give us clarity of the mind. I can see Lynn and Connie are back, and then we could have a conversation about that. As a co-founder of Sustainable Contra Costa and Sustainable Walnut Creek, yeah, we definitely have formed alliance and do projects together.
Please, always amazing. Woo!
Oh, fantastic, Marcia.
Oh, thank you.
Connie, go ahead. I'm like, wow. A lot was covered there. A lot was covered.
Well, I want to show everyone this painting behind me that I painted out. I don't know if you can see it.
Yep.
That is my, my calm space, and people who have my paintings, hopefully will have a sense of calm in their homes when they have the painting in their homes. So I love that you shared your painting, Marcia, with us, and the auspiciousness of it, the empowerment of it. I have to think when I paint my next painting, which I'm going to start one today, that, I'm going to think about that. Painting comes from the heart. Creativity is essential, to expansion. I believe it is. And whatever your heart, tells you, however you create is a good thing. I just want to tell folks at home, you don't have to paint to be creative, but to pay attention to, what your heart tells you. If you want to, create a garden, like use some of these techniques that you're telling us, Marcia, the placement of where you plant, your plants, your trees. And we'd love to have you back on the show to continue this conversation. Obviously, there's so much that we can learn from each other and give to, everyone out there that wants to be, with us on this show. We're just, every week we're having more and more people show up, and it's really gratifying. So yeah. I'll be quiet and turn the show back over.
Awesome. I'm thrilled. I think what you brought up about the senses is what I just wrote in my theology thesis. Literally, my theology of ministry was all about the senses, and also the developing idea of elements. And I know Feng Shui is all about elements. And I've taught cooking for years with the elements and the senses within the kitchen. And how can you feel the earth with your food? You know, how can you touch the real earth within the food? Where can you really develop your relationship with culture and ideas with cooking styles? And how can you create, you know, the smells with the ears? I mean, it's just amazing what you brought forth. And I just appreciate like the depth in that 20 minutes. Like, wow, you went from so many places, from the yard to the, you know, the connectedness to the relationships to the senses to the elements. So good job. Awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about sustainable Costa County. How did you affect the county? How did, you know, what's that about? I don't know much about it, so love to hear more about that.
Well, Sustainable Contra Costa was founded about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And at that time, we have this green movement going on, and I'm sure you experienced that, Connie and Lynn, that there's so much awareness about, well, the planet Earth is getting sick. And at that time, we are still using a language like, oh, resources. We are running out of fuel. We are gas, peak oil. And more, we realize that our planet Earth has been sick for a long time, and this movement, sustainability movement, is about the 3 E. E as in environment, E as in economy, E as in equity. Equity is social justice. So it's like putting all these three mainstream together, and how to make it work with our planet Earth, starting from conservation, because environment we started. If you maybe you're too young, remember the silence of the spring?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it was like our Bible. It touched our heart. And then we didn't believe that the world that we are living is getting sick. But that's bring out more and more awareness. And so 12 years ago, several of us together, we are already a community advocate in bringing a healthy lifestyle and bringing a healthy environment. We put it together with the intention of educating, putting programs to educate our local community.
Mm-hmm.
And so we put, let's say, water conservation. How do we collect rainwater? In my backyard, I even have a container. My husband always complain about, why are you collecting all those plastic jugs? Well, I say collect the rainwater so I can reuse them for irrigation. But some of our members will go into putting 5,000 gallons in their land, because they do have that space and the resources.
It's great.
Yeah,
thank you. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
I just really appreciate that. I don't want to cut you off too much, but we're at the moment of our end of our show, and I do want to welcome you back. You know, I do want to welcome you back.
Yes, please.
Yeah, there's so much need for all of us to share right now. What are we doing to make the world a better place? How are we managing? What are we not it's supported by working with consumerism? I mean, you brought up consumerism. It's a huge piece of not buying things. And, you know, I feel very blessed that you came on the show. Thank you so much. Connie, last words to Marcia for you.
Oh, no, I don't have anything else to say. Just come back and join us. And thank you so much for all of your experience and wisdom, you know, that you shared with us today, and we can use more of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Great to be with you.
Yay, thank you.
Yay.
Thank you so much. We'll
See
see
you
you
next time.
We'll see you
Okay,
soon.
see you
God
next
bless.
time.
Thank you. Awesome. That was awesome. Wow. Okay. another wrap. I just feel so excited. I don't know. Today's just it's just kind of ramping up, right? And
It is definitely ramping up.
Yeah, we're ramping up, girls and boys. I think it's time, you know, to just let you know we've made one shift this week with Green Home Marin. We're going to shift to Saturdays at 9 a.m. next week because everybody's starting to get outdoors more. We're starting to do activities. I think it'll be better for the audience to get this done earlier. You can also watch, and you can watch the show on Eco Inspired Living or actionsofimpact.com/green home. So either of those places you can watch the show. It will be based on our website, Eco Inspired Living, and it lives here. All of our shows live there. Connie and I are building up, as well as other shows from other organizations that I run, and Connie will have others herself. And, you know, it's just exciting. Adam talked to me this week and just really wants to put it under the umbrella of Eco Inspired. So Eco Inspired Green Home Marin, I think, is our really deep witness of how we can make a difference. And Connie, last words for our show today?
Just completely fulfilling, you know, just more expansion, more and more information, you know, more tools, just a continuation, you know.
Yeah. We want to make a difference by actions of impact, all of us. And I think we've seen it with COVID. We know that our hearts have been, you know, wounded, and we're needing healing practices. We need healing practices to bring us back. So I'm just going to mention next week is Connie and I. Yep, Connie and I. Go ahead, Connie. Next week we're coming on the show, so go for it.
I just want to say that if anybody is watching out there that has, you know, some product line or service that they offer that is green inspired in any way, sustainable in any way, please contact us. We'd love to have you on the show to, you know, promote your business and give our viewers, you know, more information on how they can help the planet and themselves.
Exactly. Thanks, Connie, for so much. All right. Today we end our show with a lot of gratitude to Joyce from 2020 or Bust and Marcia from Feng Shui. And, you know, I want to get all the information that we need from Marcia so you can contact her. I think that our links are happening. It's just, you know, technology and all of that we're doing is catching up to our passion. And that's what each of us, I think, imagination and passion for our lives can inspire us to move into a good direction, a positive direction. So we welcome you back next week at 9 a.m. And Connie, you head us out of the show today, please.
Oh gosh, well, I hope all of you out there have a healthy and joyful Memorial Day weekend, and celebrate your elders that have passed on this Memorial Day weekend, and honor them, you know, because they are part of you and part of us. And yeah, let's just keep ourselves safe and our neighbors and our relatives safe. Thank you. Oh, well, you know, masks. We're not wearing masks on the show, but masks and 6 feet distance, and just honor that with everything you do. Bye. Thank you.